afternoon, everybody. And Ruben, I'm asking that you have this go live today because I've already had that request. Thank you. So I am happy to see so many people in this room this afternoon. Thelma Mack and I were talking early in the fall about programming in the winter. And I really wanted to have a program about this project that we do here. This project started, it's been 4.5 years, it'll be 5 years this April, and I had seen information on it. A resident had said, "Did you hear a church out in the West is doing something with these recycled plastic bags?" And I started researching it. We found a book of where it had initially started, and I had a program here to introduce it. And the goal was for Earth Day to make one mat. And the use of the mat, it would be to go to serve a homeless person in this area. And when we first had the idea, I wanted to make sure that we included all areas here. Because when you think of Saturday to Mennonite homes, you think of service. And that's from residential living to memory care to health care to personal care. And so we started to look at it, could we find things for everybody's capability level to do here? Thelma did a great job today of getting these amazing volunteers out today to show the entire process. And it's a great time because in January we always say, "Oh, I might want to start something new this year." And we want to make sure we provide the opportunity for you to do that. And often people will say, "I can't do the loom, I can't crochet, I don't understand what it is." So, but everybody's always impressed when they see the mats, and even more so what the mats are used for. When we recognized that we could really make a difference for those in need, the project really took shape. We had worked with Manna on Main Street, we worked with the emergency shelter in Bethlehem, and now we're very grateful to be working with Chief of Police Randy Floyd of Telford, and he'll speak in a few minutes about what he's doing with the mats. I think it's important to recognize when we think of homelessness, I think too often it can be sensationalized. You envision someone that just can't get it together or has drug addiction or isn't trying. And that could not be further from the truth in most every instance I've experienced. I volunteered with the emergency shelter in Bethlehem for years. My husband did the overnight shift with these people, and they're just like you and me. And most of them just did not have a support system to help them when they really needed it. And I think people don't understand the system. When you're homeless, it's very difficult to get a job. You don't have an address. You don't have a way to cash a check. You don't have access easily to medications that you may need. So to be able to provide these people something that is, they know somebody in the community has helped make for them. It provides warmth and insulation. When we had given them out and they were using them in tent encampments, they used them as rugs so that these people felt like they were going into the tent that was their home, and they take their shoes off, and they had this instead of the bare earth under their feet. So I want to say a special thanks to all of you that came today that expressed an interest in helping with this, and especially the dedication here. Some residents have been doing this since the very beginning. Some weren't sure how they could help. We will make sure that if you are interested in doing this, you can do everything from folding the bags, smoothing out the bags, cutting the bags, making the plarn, which I know Elaine is a master at. And then the plarn is really the plastic that you turn into yarn. And you get these sheets that are used for the looms, or you can actually crochet, which is how we initially started with it. And then Generations had some looms made, and so we found out about that, and we had gotten one of our volunteer woodworkers to make them for us so we could use them here. We can make more of them if you're interested. You can do it in your home at any time. We do offer it on Wednesday mornings, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the quilt room, but you can certainly do a lot of this at home. And then you can see down here at the end, the Kohlers, they work together to crochet the handles. And that was something that Thelma discovered how to do, because it was a little clunky with the initial way that we were shown to do it. And Thelma found a much better way. Makes it easy, too, for those people that are on the streets or homeless to wrap it up. It's easy to clean it, and it's easy for them to just put over their shoulder and not have to worry about it unraveling. So without further ado, I want to welcome, like I said, Randy Floyd, who is the Telford Chief of Police, for him to share about how these mats are used. And then we're going to turn it over to Thelma Mack, and she's going to speak with each volunteer here and explain exactly what they do. So welcome, Randy Floyd.
Good afternoon. My pleasure to be here with you. This morning I had a rush. I was at a police chief's meeting in Bluebell, so I had to quick rush to get back, but I was so much looking forward to this ever since Thelma had asked me to come and talk to you. I grew up in Souderton, right on Broad Street, Broad between 5th and School Lane. And as a young person growing up in Souderton, our community is far different from what it was when I was growing up. I never knew a minority person. I never knew personally any person who was black or anybody who was Asian. To see an Asian person, you had to go to Philadelphia back then. And, I would go to I went to elementary school at EMC Elementary on School Lane. And I remember the first time somebody came to school, it was a brother and a sister, and they were Puerto Rican. And that was a big change in our community because you just didn't have it. The most diversity was you were either Lutheran, Catholic, or Mennonite, and that was the diversity. But our community has changed tremendously since that time. And not only demographically, but another thing that I have never seen growing up here was somebody who was homeless. But I know on my job with the Telford Police Department, we have seen, getting ready to do my annual report, and one of the segments in my report is on homelessness and the increased amount of people that we're seeing who are homeless. And as was said, people think, homeless people are lazy, or there's, some terrible thing with them. And in some cases, mental health is a big issue. But a lot of times, and I have met people who did not have a lot of family structure. They fell on bad times. Maybe they lost their job. And within a short time, they couldn't make their rent, they couldn't, pay their bills, and they ended up on the street. And we see that increasingly here in our community. And we see people that are living in cars. We see people that are living in tents out in the woods. We see people who we encounter, on the street. And I know with our police department, we've taken this very seriously over the last number of years. And we maintain supplies. We maintain a fund that we can use to help if we need to. For instance, if we have a woman, we never allow a woman to sleep on the street. We will put them up in the Holiday Inn down in Culpsville for a couple nights until they can make arrangements and get into shelter program or something. A few years ago, we had a couple that lived in our lobby for a week. It was a man, a woman who was pregnant, and their dog. And they slept in our lobby. It was warm, it was safe, it was locked. And we maintain some cots, blankets, and things like that, for that purpose. But one of the things we're seeing is an increase of people on the street and sleeping out in the cold, sleeping out in the wet. And, we're always looking for things that we can, to help and to serve the community. And when I learned about these mats, I'm in the Harleysville Rotary Club, and we had a presentation on them at our Harleysville Rotary Club, and we actually made the plarn. I messed it all up. I cut the things wrong and tied them wrong, but we managed to make quite a bit of it that were used to make mats. And then when Thelma called me and said that you had mats, what an answer, to some of our problems, because they're easy. We can grab one. We encounter people. We can grab one, give it to them. It's a barrier from the cold. It's a barrier from the water, from the wet. Sleeping on the street is never comfortable, but at least it gives some kind of comfort. And we're very grateful for that. I want to, like I said, I was just at a Chiefs meeting, and we were talking about homeless encampments around the county, and it's just becoming, a greater need all the time. And so, doing this, and I was watching here, and I'm thinking all these people here, and what a great use of these bags. I mean, they're everywhere, and I know, you soon have a big ball of them in the cupboard at home, and what a way to recycle. I'm thinking a great therapy for people to keep their hands and their eyes and their minds active. And, everybody here, people might think, okay, well, I live in the Souderton Mennonite community and all. There's not much I can do to help my community. This is a tremendous help for the community. And every one of you can be a missionary, an advocate for the homeless, giving somebody some comfort and some warmth. What a way, that's New Testament all the way, and I think if they had plastic bags when Jesus was on this earth, I think they would have taught the disciples to do these and give them out, but it's a tremendous way to help. And, I want everybody to know how important that is, because, we get to encounter people, and if it's 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night, Saturday morning, there's nothing, no services available until Monday. So if this is what we can do, find a pavilion, and depending on the weather, we, like I said, we'll have people come and stay in our lobby. We'll put people up if necessary, but there's a lot of times we encounter people who won't accept that. They won't accept our help to put them in a hotel, even if it's for a night or two, but they will accept a mat. And so it's a great way to serve, as Christians and followers of Christ here in our community. So thank you, number one, and I would be happy to answer any questions anybody might have about, dealing with the homeless or how we could maybe better use these mats. In all, they're nice. They throw right in the back of a police car, which is good, and it's easy to distribute. So, does anyone have?
Does anybody have a question for Randy? You did a great job explaining it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and again, keep up the good work. This is so important, and don't ever think that something as simple as this, or think that this is so simple and it doesn't make a difference. It does, and I appreciate every one of you taking part in this endeavor. And thank you, Thelma, for asking me to come and talk to you. And know that your work does not go unnoticed. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. Is it on?
Sure.
About how often do you feel that you hand these out?
It's hard to tell. It goes in spurts. This time of year, like in the winter, probably not so much because, we want to get people in shelter. The shelter, the Code Blue shelter in Lansdale, they have one for men and one for women, which is a big help now. So we try to get people in shelter. But in the warmer weather, we tend to see more people on the street in the warmer weather. Another thing is there's some people who will migrate. So in the winter they'll work their way south. They'll get rides, they'll hitchhike, they'll do different things, and end up maybe down in the southern states where it's warmer. And then in the spring and summer they come back up to this area. We've encountered that, and so there's really no certain time, but it's just another one of those good tools that we have to be able to help, and all. So. Yes. Yeah, it's at the Trinity, the big church is where the men's shelter is, and then there's across town they have a women's shelter. They're for Code Blue, but I get the email, and anytime it's going to be below 32 degrees, the Code Blue shelter opens, which is almost every night, here this time of year. And again, it's not a permanent thing, but it gets the person where it's safe, number one. Homeless people, especially women, are particularly vulnerable to crime and to abuse and exploitation. So that's why I say we never allow a female, to be out by herself. If they won't leave, say they're living in their car, we have them put their car in the parking lot across from the police station where it's on camera. And so, the officers will make multiple, trips around at night to make sure that they're okay. But if we have, somebody that, we can connect with services with Keystone Opportunity here in town, or other services through the counties. And us being in Telford, we're in 2 counties, so half is Bucks, half is Montgomery. So we work with the different counties. Sometimes women who are homeless are victims of abuse in their home. And so through the domestic violence shelters and domestic violence centers, we can get them into something more permanent. So that's always the goal, because somebody living on the street, it's not a good thing. I don't care if it's Kensington and Philadelphia, or if it's Souderton and Telford. It's just not a good thing. And I think as a society, especially as a Christian community, we owe it to people, to better serve them. And so, but good question. Yes. Yeah, well, that and what we keep these mats, and we keep our homeless supplies. We have food, we have blankets, and different things. We have them. We store them in the police station. But when an officer encounters somebody, we either bring them back to the police station, or an officer goes back and gets it and can take it to them. If we stored them in the trunk or in the back of the cars, they tend to get messed up a little bit. So we keep them where they're warm and dry and clean, and we get them as we need them. So.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
My mother and I helped the homeless people. A woman was, she didn't have no place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave her a pillow, and she went into, got outside toilet. How can they get into the toilet without?
But like a job, Johnny, a portable toilet outside for like construction workers and all? Yeah, well, they're typically not locked, but, that's, we certainly would want to avoid that.
There's a lot of homeless people there.
Yeah, and, it's, certainly not very dignified to have somebody spending the night in a portable outhouse. So we'd want to, get them and help them to avoid that. Yes, but good. Anything else? Well, again, thank you. I appreciate being here with you today, and keep up the great work. And, if you make mats, I will find a way to get them to other area departments as well. And, so we can better serve our vulnerable people. Thank you.
Thank you again to Randy, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. And I think it gives a really three-dimensional look at what this is all about, serving the homeless and how each person can make a difference. It takes all different types of jobs to make a mat. It's not just a crocheting, it's not just collecting the mat, it's all different levels. And we're a community here, and this is definitely an example of community work. Now we're going to turn it over to Thelma, as she's going to explain the mat process. We talk about that we offer these mats, and I think people see it on the calendars, but this is really a great way for everybody to understand how much time and energy goes into making a mat. And just want to remind the volunteers up here, if you have something to add as Thelma's speaking, please, this is the time. People want to hear about it.
Thank you, Heather. While you've been resting, these people have been working. Let's give them a hand. I would like to explain what they're doing. Doris and Shirley and Doreen, they are checking the bags to make sure they're clean, and they fold them, and then they cut off the top and the bottom, and that's how they make strips. Then Elaine takes those strips and she joins them and makes sure the knots are small. It's important for the knot to be small. So then she rolls them into balls of plawn, not yarn, but plawn. Okay? And then, yeah. And Bill Pugh here, he is, I should say that the strips that the three of them are making, they are 3 to 4 inches wide. That's for weaving. If someone wants to crochet them, we use 1.5 strips for crocheting. Bill here is cutting special strips for the pegs. We have, the loom has like 39 pegs, and you pull it through the hole, and we found out that those strips that go from the beginning all the way the whole length of the mat has to be strong because it gets a lot of tension. So these are made from giant delivery bags, which are longer and stronger. So that's what Bill is doing, and he cuts those to 2 inches for these strips. And Evelyn and Nancy and Doris, they are working the looms. They have, when the strip is at the end, then you have to add another strip. I want to say about Evelyn here, I think she needs a special hand because Evelyn does the whole process. She does it in her apartment, and then when it's time to weave it, then she does that in the quilt room. So she does it from beginning to end. So thank you. And then over here, we have Bob Kohler. He is helping to do the strips so his wife, Dana, can make the shoulder straps. Those strips are, what, 1.5 inches, right? 1.5 inches, because they are crocheted. Heather is holding a mat that has been crocheted, and the one here has been woven. We're looking and welcoming anyone who's interested in this to help us keep this project going. If you want to cut, if you want to fold, if you want to join them like Elaine does, or if you want to weave. Now, we meet every Wednesday morning, and we have 4 looms. If we have more people that want to weave, we can set up another time. But it's in the quilt room. Once you know what you're doing, you don't have to wait till Wednesday morning. You can come and weave anytime. And that's what I do. If I'm up here for a meeting and I have it half an hour before the next meeting, I'll go into the quilt room and weave. So you don't have to wait till Wednesday morning.
Also, if you are someone that is fully committed and wants to work on it but has space, many people don't have space to set this up in their home. If you wanted to set up a loom in your home, we could arrange to have one for you to use there.
We've had 2 people that have done it in their home. It takes space, but it can be arranged. Do you have any questions? Yes. Diane. And thank you for bringing your bag. They're already using yours.
I know, I saw. I'm impressed. The bags that you use, the bags that we get in the grocery store, are those, we've got those plastic bags, right? Then sometimes you get bags that are a thinner quality for produce. And then sometimes, like in a department store, you get a bag that's a heavier plastic than the grocery store bags. Do you use all 3?
No.
Which do you use?
People like Diane, Doris, and Doreen, and Shirley, they know which ones to use and not to use.
So the heavier bags.
If it's real heavy, we cannot use them to weave.
I'll take
or
them
crochet.
back then.
Typically, the ones that work the best, we have found, are the giant bags, Landis bags, the grocery store bags.
Yes.
And we do have people throughout the community, and in other staff members, they drop off bags, usually to my attention, and then we put them all in the quilt room. And they go through them.
Kohl's, we like Kohl's bags. We especially like Shady Maple's blue bags. Anything with color, we're glad to get. Whose? No, they're good. Kohl's are okay.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop the bags. Good question. You can drop the bags off at the front desk with my name. You can drop the bags off in the quilt room, in the credenza chest that's in there, or down by my office. People just put them on the door handle to my office.
And you're free to call me if you have any questions. I'll be glad to help you get started. Thank you. Thank you for your attention and for coming.
One of the things I did want to also mention is that if you've come here today and you're like, I don't know that I want to do the loom or this, but there is some interest, please contact Thelma or myself or really anybody up here, and they can explain to you exactly what they do. There's no job in this that's small, because you need each aspect to make a bag that's going to maintain its quality and be something of substance for these people. I also want to take a special thank you to Thelma, because she came to the first session way back when, almost 5 years ago, and from that she's really helped to keep momentum with this going. And thank you again to each person sitting up here, because without you, this wouldn't be happening. And we just heard from Randy how important it is and how these people are people in our community. Like, we are people of service here. We are a family here. And when we can make a difference, we want to. So thank you for your time today. Please feel free to go check everything out, ask any questions, and thank you very much.